Your body needs 5 essential ingredients to function properly: fats, carbohydrates, protein, water, and fiber. Below I will describe in detail the benefits of each ingredient, what vitamins and minerals are in each ingredient, proper quantities to take of each ingredient, and what foods contain these ingredients. Fats. Your calories from fat should be less than 30% of your ideal caloric level. Fat contains approximately 9 calories per gram. It has more than twice as many calories as pure sugar. A moderate intake of fat helps ensure maintenance of body weight, decrease your risk of heart disease, and provide satiety and flavor to your diet. To lose weight, one must know the calorie formula. 3,500 calories equals approximately 1 pound of body weight. In order to lose 1 pound of body weight, your body must, each day, burn 500 calories more than you consume as food. Let's say you buy a Whopper from Burger King which contains approximately 35 grams of fat. Well, you multiply 35 x 9 calories per grams equals 315 calories. If your overall caloric intake for that particular day was 3,000 calories, you then want to divide 3,000 degrees Celsius 315 degrees Celsius equals 9.52%, which simply means that you are about 1/3 of the way from your total daily fat intake. Yet make sure, as you watch video, you intake monosaturated and polyunsaturated fats and cut down on the saturated fats. There are 3 types of fats: saturated, monounsaturated, and polyunsaturated. Consuming a diet low in saturated fat is good because you may decrease your risk of heart disease and possibly some forms of cancer. Foods lower in saturated fat include low-fat or non-fat dairy products, egg substitutes, nuts and legumes, corn, and safflower oils. Your intake of saturated fats should be 10% or less of your total caloric intake. Foods that contain monounsaturated fat may protect against heart disease. Foods high in monounsaturated fat include olives, olive oil, avocados, and mayonnaise. Your intake of monounsaturated fats should be 10% or less of your total caloric intake. Polyunsaturated fat provides adequate protection against heart disease without providing excess fat. Foods high in polyunsaturated fat include tub margarine, safflower and sunflower oils, sunflower seeds, fish, and walnuts. Your intake of polyunsaturated fats should be 10% or less of your total caloric intake. There are 2 main sources of fats: animal sources and plant sources. Limiting fat from animal sources is good because a diet low in animal fat generally reflects a diet low in saturated fat and cholesterol, which may help reduce your risk for heart disease and certain cancers. Fish is a good, generally low-fat source of protein containing mostly unsaturated fats. Including fish in your diet also provides omega-3 fatty acids, which may be helpful in preventing heart disease. Remember to use added fats sparingly when you are preparing fish. Some fat is needed in the diet. Plant fat is less saturated than animal sources of fat and may contribute less to heart disease and cancer. Some plant fats, however, such as coconut oil and palm oil, are high in saturated fat and should be limited. Vegetable oils, nuts, tub margarine, and seeds are a good source of plant fat to include in your diet. Carbohydrates. Your calories from carbohydrates should be within 55 to 80% of your ideal caloric level. Carbohydrates contain approximately 4 calories per gram. Consuming carbohydrates at this level helps provide the vitamins, minerals, and fiber you need for an active lifestyle. Be sure to include generous amounts of complex carbohydrates, such as whole grains, pasta, and cereals, and limit added sugars to 10% or less of your total caloric intake. To calculate your total carbohydrate intake, simply follow the formula used for total fat intake above but substitute 4 calories per gram instead of 9 calories per gram. Complex carbohydrates are your body's preferred and best utilized energy source. A low carbohydrate intake also decreases your likelihood of getting enough fiber in your diet. Foods high in complex carbohydrates/natural sugars include breads, cereals, grains, pastas, fruits, vegetables, and dried beans. Since sugar contributes no nutrients other than calories and often travels with fat, a low intake is positive. By limiting the amount of sugar foods in your diet, you leave room for foods that have nutrients as well as calories. You should avoid or limit high-sugar foods such as regular soft drinks, which have twice as much sugar as Kool-Aid per serving. Desserts, cookies, frozen desserts such as ice cream or ice milk, flavored yogurts, and sweetened cereals. On food labels, the terms dextrose, sucrose, high fructose corn syrup, honey, maple syrup, and molasses all indicate added sugars. Your intake of simple sugars should be 10% or less of your total caloric intake. Protein. Your protein intake should be between 10% to 20% of your total caloric intake. Proteins contain approximately 4 calories per gram. Too much protein strains your kidneys and may cause you to lose calcium. Protein consumed in excess of the amount you need is stored in your body as fat. High-protein foods include beef, pork, chicken, fish, nuts, dried beans, and dairy products. A 3-ounce portion of meat, which is a recommended serving size, is about the size of a deck of cards. To calculate your total protein intake, simply follow the formula used for total fat intake above but substitute 4 calories per gram instead of 9 calories per gram. There are 2 sources of protein, animal sources and plant sources. Animal sources of protein are more complete than plant sources, however, they also commonly contain cholesterol and higher levels of saturated fat than plant sources. A high proportion of protein in the diet may crowd out foods high in carbohydrate, vegetables, and grains, which are your best source of energy and contain other nutrients your body needs. Your intake of animal protein should be 50% or less of your total protein intake. Plant sources include nuts, grains, and seeds. They have no cholesterol and have less saturated fat than animal sources of protein. Your intake of plant protein should be 50% or more of your total protein intake. Water. Water is a very essential nutrient for the body. It flushes impurities out of your body and helps your body to absorb vitamins more readily. Bottled water is a must these days with all of the toxins in the tap. Distilled water is best, even though there are no minerals in it. Distilled water is free of all impurities that can still be found in bottled water, therefore accompany a well-balanced diet and a good multivitamin to make up for this. You should consume about 8 8-ounce glasses of water a day. Fiber. Fiber is extremely important to the human body, and it allows foods to digest properly and flow smoothly through one's digestive tract. Your diet should contain at least 30 grams of dietary fiber a day. This is easily accomplished by substituting whole grain breads and cereals for refined cereals and flour, legumes for red meat, fruits for sweet desserts, and adding salads on a daily basis. Too much fiber, however, may cause poor absorption of vitamins and minerals and lead to nutritional deficiencies. Too much fiber may also cause intestinal discomfort, bloating, diarrhea, and cramping. Fiber fills you, but it doesn't fatten you. Vitamins and minerals. Fruits and vegetables provide nutrients essential for growth and renewal. They contain generous amounts of vitamins which regulate metabolism and help in the conversion of fats and carbohydrates into energy. Fruits and vegetables also contain minerals that are necessary for nerve and muscle function and are the building material for some body tissue. Fruits and vegetables can protect the body from such major diseases as cancer and heart disease. Some are high in substances called antioxidants, such as beta-carotene, vitamin C and E, and selenium, which are nutrients that protect cell membranes from the damage of free radicals. An adequate intake of vitamin A ensures proper night vision and healthy skin. Vitamin A may decrease your risk of some forms of cancer. Including a variety of vegetables such as carrots, spinach, broccoli, winter squash, and other dark green leafy vegetables will continue to supply you with adequate amounts of vitamin A. An adequate intake of vitamin C, also known as ascorbic acid, will help your body resist infection and improves wound healing. Choosing a variety of fruits and vegetables such as strawberries, green peppers, oranges, grapefruit, kiwi fruit, broccoli, cabbage, and lemons will help ensure adequate intake of vitamin C. Vitamin C also acts as an antioxidant, thus aiding in the absorption of iron by the body. Potassium helps maintain your body's water balance and perform other functions. Choosing varied foods such as legumes, beans, whole grains, oranges, bananas, leafy vegetables, broccoli, potatoes, and meats will continue to provide you with the recommended amount of potassium in your diet. Iron is often lacking in diets. Selecting lean red meats, mustard greens, kale, and fortified breads and cereals will provide you with adequate iron for a healthy diet. Please note, high levels of stress and exposure to secondhand smoke will reduce your body's storage of vitamin C. Calcium is essential for proper bone growth and development. Good sources of calcium include low-fat and non-fat dairy products, broccoli, mustard greens, and kale. Phosphorus is essential in maintaining healthy bones and teeth. Phosphorus also functions in the breakdown of food for energy. Good sources of phosphorus include lean meats, low-fat and non-fat dairy products, low-fat baked products, and nuts. A diet high in sodium can lead to water retention and high blood pressure. Many processed foods such as frozen dinners, canned vegetables, soups, and luncheon meats are high in sodium. When purchasing these types of foods, choose lower sodium versions. Selecting unprocessed fruits, vegetables, and whole grains will help keep your sodium intake within the recommended range. Unhealthy substances. Alcohol in excess impairs judgment and damages the liver. From a caloric perspective, alcohol contains approximately 7 calories per gram. You can gain unwanted pounds quickly, yet receive no nutritional value from these empty calories, for alcohol contains 0 nutrients. Caffeine is a substance unnecessary for good health and may actually be detrimental in larger quantities. Caffeine has been shown to cause complications during pregnancy, contribute to osteoporosis in women, increase hyperactivity in children, and cause mood swings. MSG, monosodium glutamate, is known to trigger migraine headache, tachycardia, arrhythmia, seizures, asthma, nausea and vomiting, hives, skin rash, anxiety attacks, depression, and much more in people who have become sensitive to it. It causes gross obesity and learning disorders in laboratory animals that ingest it when young. It can be found in Chinese food if you don't tell them no MSG, and even on crops that are now being sprayed with this harmful substance. Thus it is wisdom to wash all your fruits and vegetables. Aspartame, phenylalanine, is found in equal brand sugar substitute and products sweetened with NutraSweet brand sweeteners such as fat-free yogurt, Metrex protein powder, and sugar-free gum. Aspartame is highly dangerous as far as I'm concerned. In fact, the inventor of it pleaded that the product wouldn't pass the FDA regulations. Unfortunately, he died and this substance was subsequently passed. After consumption, the body converts aspartame to methanol, formic acid, and formaldehyde, the same substance used to embalm animals with for purposes of scientific study. The last two of the 3 poisons, formaldehyde and formic acid, are said to be carcinogens. The body cannot effectively eliminate formaldehyde, and in fact, it has a difficult time eliminating it. Some of it is combined with water and stored as fat or further converted by the liver into formic acid. Poisoning from methanol, formaldehyde, and formic acid causes cumulative damage, and at some point the victim gets some bad news. The damage varies in type and amount from victim to victim, from immediate seizures or migraines to being on the verge of death from unknown factors 15 years later. Helpful additions. David Wilkerson, a leading prophet of our time, who once suffered from chronic colon problems, said, "The Holy Spirit taught me what to do. I got off sugar. I drink the juice of carrots and apples daily. I drink barley green, and I take well-rounded vitamin and mineral supplements." According to the American Holistic Medical Association, even if you eat a balanced diet with generous selections of fresh fruits and vegetables, whole grains, and lean proteins, you could still benefit from vitamin and mineral supplementation because North American farmlands rarely contain optimum nutrients, especially trace minerals due to the loss of topsoil. That means it would take a large quantity of vegetables, for example, to get the optimum dosages of trace minerals, more than most people could chew in a day. Therefore, supplements are not substitutes for healthy food, but they do supply the nutrients lost from our food by deficient soils, mentioned above, transport, processing, and cooking. Barley green is rapidly becoming North America's leading health drink. That's because barley green's nutritional profile is one of the best. Barley green contains the widest range of vitamins and minerals. Barley green is processed using a patented low-temperature, spray-drying process, so that the nutrients and the important enzymes remain intact. When you use barley green, you're getting a live drink full of the green goodness of barley grass. Of all the green grass juices, barley green is recognized as the world's leading nutritious supplement, and barley green captures these nutrients in a convenient and easy-to-use powder or caplet form. Juices contain all of the goodness of the whole product in a condensed form. By juicing fruits and vegetables, nutrients are quickly assimilated since the body does not have to separate out the fiber. Juices should be used as replacements for non-nutritious beverages such as soda, coffee, or alcohol. In preparation for bottling, fruits and vegetables are usually heated and otherwise processed. These processes cause the loss of vitamins, minerals, trace elements, and enzymes. Fresh fruit and vegetable juices that are extracted and consumed shortly thereafter experience a minimum amount of nutrient loss. Drinking juices can have many therapeutic benefits. However, juicing is not recommended to take the place of medical treatment, but as an adjunct to treatment. Also, since fruit juice is high in natural sugars, it should be used sparingly by those who have been advised to limit their sugar intake. This may include individuals who have diabetes, hypoglycemia, candidiasis, and gout. Dieting. The best way to lose weight is to eat enough food to supply calories within your ideal caloric range, limit saturated fat and simple sugars, and increase your activity level. Undereating is not the answer. Undereating may make you more prone to health problems, lessen your resistance to disease, or give you headaches. A low-calorie intake may cause you to feel tired and may also lead to binge eating due to hunger. The Atkins diet has recently received a lot of notoriety. The Atkins diet encourages an individual to eat all of the fat and protein he or she wants in a meal while avoiding all forms of carbohydrate. However, it is important to note that carbohydrates, especially complex carbohydrates, are essential. People who are on the Atkins diet do not get the fiber, vitamins, and minerals from carbohydrates which are needed for healthy living, but rather do much harm to their arteries by intaking large amounts of saturated fat plus harm their kidneys by eating large amounts of protein. Common health problems. Depression. Certain B vitamins have been found to be deficient in patients with severe depression. Fatigue. According to a study cited in the Journal of Nutritional Medicine, the most common symptom of a vitamin B12 deficiency is fatigue. Thiamine has also been found to help with fatigue. Eating sugar will cause thiamine depletion, as will smoking tobacco products and drinking alcohol. Sleeplessness. Certain B vitamins have been found to be deficient in patients with severe depression. Fatigue. Sleeping pills, sedatives, and tranquilizers can contribute to poor quality sleep. It is much better to go the natural route. Calcium, always combined with magnesium, helps relax the muscles and soothe the nerves. Magnesium also works with vitamin B6 and tryptophan. Vitamin C, especially with bioflavonoids, helps reduce the severity of colds. You should take a vitamin C formula that uses lemon, grape, citrus, buckwheat, and green tea for bioflavonoids. Arthritis. Arthritis can be caused by food allergies. Common allergens are sugar, beef, chocolate, eggs, citrus fruits, coffee, corn, milk, malt, pork, soybeans, potatoes, spices, tomatoes, wheat, and yeast. Arthritis pain comes from swelling, so seek out foods containing natural anti-inflammatory agents. Curcumin, which gives turmeric its yellow color, has been found in studies to work better than ibuprofen. Bromelain from pineapple and bioflavonoids, found in green peppers, citrus fruit, and berries, are other natural anti-inflammatories. When it comes to curing acne, the answer is zinc. In conclusion, the Bible says in Hosea 4 verse 6 that people perish for lack of knowledge. By obtaining the knowledge from this teaching and applying it to your daily lifestyle, you will be on your way to living a healthier and more satisfying life.